Good morning. Happy Sunday. Welcome to your early morning intuitive guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum here with some words of wisdom, running a few minutes late today. So hopefully some of you are still hanging around waiting for today's message. We'll see how many of you pop on. And there we go. There's Nancy. Good morning. Welcome. You're the first one popping on. Glad people were kind of hanging out waiting for me to show up. So I'm going to read you a little chunk today out of Bringers of the Dawn because I think it will be very helpful. And I gotta get some hand lotion here. And yesterday was one of those days. You know those days where, excuse me, everything you have planned goes awry? So, I'll just regale you with a little bit of this. So, and then tell you what I gleaned from it. Good morning, Jonielle. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, my friend Kathy and I were going to drive up to Ironwood, Michigan, which she was navigating, I was going to drive, so I didn't really pay attention to how far it was. 4 hours. So we intended, there's both of us have worked on, but she worked on much more, a traveling exhibit honoring the survivors of the Indian schools. Good morning, Barb. Glad you're here. Welcome. And it includes pictures of the individuals who told their stories and QR codes so that you can watch a video of them each telling their story of being a child taken away from their parents and put in Indian school, because the theory was kill the Indian, save the man. Yeah. So it was at this park. Now I hear park and I think benches and walkways and trees and yeah. So we drive up there 4 hours in the pouring rain. I mean, you know, some of you who live in the vicinity know what kind of rain there was yesterday. All the way there. So we decided we're going to go to the park first and just kind of do the reconnoiter, and then we're going to go to get lunch. And then we'll go back to the park and actually spend time with it. So we drive down the road that the GPS is telling me the park is on, and we find a ball field. It was a little bitty parking lot and a ball field, and I'm like, nothing here, I don't see anything here. So we go up that road further, turning on Bonnie Lane, and drove into a different parking lot. And there was a car from Minnesota sitting there with one man in it. And he had just come from looking at the legend on the little tent thingy. And he just sat there. Like, he didn't know where he was going either. So we decided, well, we'll just go get lunch and then we'll come back. And maybe by then the rain will be done and we can wander around and figure out what we're doing. So we had gone through all kinds of gyrations to get the name of this one restaurant. So we go there, sign on the door, closed today, catering a wedding. I put up a prayer for the people who were having the wedding in the middle of the gale force winds. Hopefully it wasn't totally an outdoor wedding. So then we went across the street to a little diner, had lunch, blah, blah. By the time we got back to the ball field, yes, it had quit raining. So as we get out of the car, my friend kind of tweaks her back and her sciatica kicks back in. So she's gimping along, real uncomfortable, blah, blah. And it's uneven terrain. It's basically hiking trails. So I'm like, well, would I really, there were various art installations along the way. Well, the way we went in, the two art installations we saw were like, good morning, Gwen. Why did they bother? Not that either one of us are artists, but nonetheless. So she's miserable. I give her the keys. She goes back to sit in the car, and I go exploring to try to figure out at least where the traveling exhibit is, because I've waited 2 years to see this thing. I've driven 4 hours in the pouring rain. I want to see it. So I'm wandering through paths. I'm finding, as I got further in, I found some really cool art installations. But I did not find the one I was looking for, the traveling exhibit. So I'm starting to walk out, and there's a guy who was coming up one of the paths on a bike, and I said, anywhere in there did you see the the traveling exhibit for the Native Americans who were put in Indian school? And he said, nope, didn't see anything like that. So I walked out further, and there was an older woman coming in with a dog, and the dog was balking because she had come in a different entrance, and they had walked for a good long time, and the dog was ready to be done. So I asked her, and she said, oh yeah, it's kind of in the middle. And I had almost gotten there at one point. She said, let me show you, because we've got to go that way to get back to our car anyway. So we walk in. I find it. Can't really sit down because all of the benches are soaking wet. And so I took a bunch of pictures of it to show Kathy when I wound my way back out. And there were arrows to follow. So I followed the arrows, got hopelessly lost in this woods. And it was starting to sprinkle again. And I'm like, if there's a deluge, I'm going to end up looking like I looked back at the rummage sale when I went to pick up the sign. So I'm texting her, you know, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I don't know where. I found a road at one point, but I thought that led to that second parking lot we were at, and then to walk back to the first parking lot would have been a couple of blocks in the pouring rain with no tree cover. So kept going, finally made my way back out, and we took off, headed for home. Rained a fair amount on the way home, got to Shawano, and my low tire light came on. So we go to the gas station where they charged $3 for air and pumped it back up. Yep, it was down to 22 pounds, pumped it back up, took off again. Didn't think much of it. Good morning, Renee. Glad you're here. Welcome. Went to have supper because by now it's, I don't know, 6:30, something like that. And there was a place I knew in Black Creek that was really good. So we go there. Closed for good. Permanently closed. So we Googled restaurants in the area, picked one out that I had been to once. She didn't think she had been to once, but she had been to once. So we stopped there. We had a lovely meal. Came out, and I went to get in the passenger side, or the driver's side, and Kathy had gone to the bathroom and then was going to come out. And there were two couples walking in, and as they walked in, I was getting in, starting the car. The one guy turns around and comes back, and he says, do you know you have a flat tire? It was on the passenger side. So I get out, and I looked at it, I thanked him. I mean, it was flat now. It's dark. Yeah, all the things. So those people went in. Kathy was coming out. This guy comes out behind her, and he says, would you like me to change that tire for you? Heck yeah. So he drops my spare tire out from under the vehicle. It's not in the vehicle anymore. It's under the vehicle. And I just bought this vehicle a year ago. So someone else has had it since 2019. That spare tire was not looking good. So he said, well, why don't I take off this tire, good morning, Mel, and take it. He said, I've got a buddy who lives an eighth of a mile from here. I'll pump it up. And we had made it like 20 miles from where I had pumped it up to this place. So I figured we could get from this place to Kathy's house in freedom. So he did that for us. I asked if I could pay him. He said, no, but if you're ever here again, buy me a drink. So we took off, got to Kathy's house, dropped her off quick, got to the end of her road, and the light came on again. And I'm like, I'm not driving this any further. So in Freedom, you can leave vehicles on the road overnight, so I just left it there. She drove me home. Here we are. Now today I got to figure out how I'm going to go get the tire off and take it to Midas tomorrow morning when they're open. So what did I learn? I learned you pay attention to the cues. So many opportunities there. My gut was telling me that in the park, if we went for lunch and came back, the rain would be done, so that worked out fine. When the low tire light came on, my gut was telling me, just stop, put some air in it, it'll be fine to get you to where you're going to eat. I thought it would get us home, but, well, it got us to one of our homes. Lovely people. The man who told me my tire was flat, because I wouldn't have seen it. I would have backed up and then the indicator would have been on, but nonetheless, the guy who very selflessly changed the tire for me, wonderful. You know, all the things. So, yeah, it was an interesting day, and so many things that didn't go as expected. And I feel like both Kathy and I rolled with that pretty well. So that was cool. And so that's kind of a segue into the little bit that I want to read to you from Bringers of the Dawn by Barbara Marciniak. And again, this book was written in 92, was published in 92. And it's channeled information from a group that Barbara calls the Palladians. And I thought this part was apropos. So let's take a breath. Let it go. Take another breath. Let it go. And one more to signal the divine we're ready to learn. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And this is the Palladians talking to us, the human beings. We are stretching you. No shit. We are stretching you. We want you to become completely confused so that you will be energized. Then you will utilize your curiosity to take you into areas that not only have you never thought of, you never even knew existed. This is our intention, that you come to a higher ground, where you can create a new order of identity, courageously, with humor, and with confidence. Yes, the traveling exhibit is from the UP. If you're interested in having it, your church sponsor it, or tribes have sponsored it. So it's moved around through, I don't know, 3 or 4 states already. And I know there's a place that's a library, I believe, that's getting it next. But if you're interested in that, send me a private message and I will give you Kathy's contact information, and she can hook you up with how to reserve it for your particular group. It's pretty powerful stuff, and the main reason for having done this, creating this traveling exhibit, is not only to bring the atrocities committed by the Catholic Church, the Episcopal Church, many of the churches, because they were working at the behest of the U.S. government to rehab these savages, blah, blah. This is a step in the direction of making reparations. So one of the ways that it's set up is there's an introduction by a woman, can't remember her name, but there's an introduction by this woman. There are the survivors' stories. There is Earl Mishigod, who's native elder, talking about, now that you know the stories, what needs to come next. And then there's the Episcopal Bishop of Northern Michigan doing a very powerful apology. So it's a baby step in the direction. You saw it. It's wonderful. Oh, good. I'm so glad. And it does get around. And hopefully more and more churches and tribal communities will seek having it there for a period of time. I really hope the Oneida tribe brings it in at some point, because I really would like to spend time with it. Not in the rain. Not in the rain. So let me read this last sentence again. This is our intention, that you come to a higher ground where you can create a new order of identity courageously, with humor, and with confidence. So you might be thinking, how are we going to do that? Here's part of your answer. All things are frequencies. If you knew how rapidly you are evolving, you might want to sit in a chair and put your hand over your head and say, I can't do it. There's too much going on for me. You keep the veil pulled down and pretend to go about life as if nothing is happening, when you are continuously being upgraded with all kinds of changes to bring you closer to the higher dimensions. Think about and feel what you are going to achieve in one lifetime. Within the next 10 to 20 years, you will move from being dense physical creatures into creatures of light in the age of light. Can you conceive of this? Everything that you are doing, including eating a pizza, is bringing you in a divinely perfect way to that place. At some point, you will understand the importance of every event in which you are participating and the integrity of the whole. So this confusion stuff is part of the process. The more we can not just tolerate it, but embrace it, the more we're going to move into that light place. So here's an example they're using. In the movie, The Karate Kid, the kid is very impatient while learning karate. He finds a master and doesn't even think he has found a master. He is given things to do that he thinks are a waste of time. He does not understand that each piece he learns makes up the greater whole. You are like this kid. I'll own it. I am like this kid. All the pieces are coming together, but because of the vision of your ego, you do not understand at this time that they make the greater whole. You are being put to task, and you will find that all you are seeking will be yours. That is the good news. Be aware and learn how to recognize when your will is usurping the divine will and the divine plan, when you are forcing too much onto yourself because you are not operating out of common sense. Look at yourself in the mirror and see how you look. Look into your eyes, because the eyes are an indicator for your whole physical body. Are they clear? Are you able to look back with clarity? Is your face lined or exhausted or calm? How does your body feel? Are you able to sit in a serene position? How many people struggle with meditation? It's very hard to ramp down that buzz of energy that we tend to have in the United States. Are you able to hold your body erect, or do you feel the need to slump over? Do you fidget because you cannot hold the energy in your body, so your body is always dancing and twitching because it does not know what to do? Are your fingers always drumming, or are you gnawing at your flesh? Nail biters? There are many indications to watch for. You can look around and see who cannot integrate energy. Once you bring the energy into your body and are able to hold it, your body will begin to feel a lightness. There will be a vitality in your skin and perhaps your hair. Your hair is a very good indication of your health. Common sense, of course, is one of your best comrades to hang around with. Common sense will show you what is right and what is not. At times you will recognize that the energy has become too much and that you are not calm and centered. This will occur for each and every one of you at some point. In some way you will feel as if too much is happening, there will be too much data to compute, too many people to talk to, and too much going on. When this happens, you must think of yourself as an appliance and unplug yourself. I love that. Just like you are a toaster, simply unplug yourself so that you can be put out of use. At those times, what you need to do more than anything else is rest. How many of us avoid that? Avoid it like the plague. Some of you will need a tremendous amount of sleep at different points. I've had 2 opportunities in the past month or two where I just had to lay down. I just had to lay down. There was so much going on, could not compute it, could not get things to make sense. I just needed to lay down, get out of my own way, and allow whatever was happening to happen. Do not think that you are getting lazy and beat up on yourself. Simply acknowledge it. There will be times when some of you will wish to sleep 18 hours. Do it. Do it. It is necessary. You have no idea of the lands you travel to and the work done on your physical body when you sleep. It is a time when you are unplugged from this reality and recharged and taught in other realities. The bridges and your eyes will open between realities, and you will begin to see and carry these memories. So I just thought that was a very interesting framework in which to put what many of us are feeling as we're going through these tumultuous times. That even what looks horrible and out of alignment with what we want can open a path to the new beginnings. Our job being to take care of ourselves, to do our work, and in doing that work, we benefit the whole. We benefit the whole. So if you think about yourself as being a cell in a greater body, being a healthy cell serves the body. So, love to hear what you think about this, what your thoughts are, what your yeah buts are. But let this roll around in your head today, and let's see where this takes us. So have an awesome Sunday. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.